Welcome to week 3 of It's to Live For, the Weight Loss Challenge. I'm so glad you've joined us again. I know that you're following our participants with great interest as we are, and it's been a great week. There's been some interesting moments, which you're going to see a little bit later on in the show. But right now, I just invite you to go to our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, but also let us know who your favourite participant is. And if you would like to follow what they're doing, contact us and we'd love to share that with you.
Really excited to see you all this week, performing and doing the things to keep active and keeping mobile. Hearing that you're enthusiastic is terrific. What I'm worried about all the time at this stage when we start off on something like this, our adventure to lose our weight, is that we can inadvertently cause ourselves injuries by being too enthusiastic and starting to do the wrong things. So I just want to share with you, and particularly you at home, if you're starting to get enthusiastic as well, it's important to deal with any injuries or discomforts or aches or pains that crop up very, very early on, by dealing with it in terms of icing. So let me explain. If something is inflammatory, it means that it's aching at rest, not getting better, or it aches in the night time or in the morning. Any one of those three, it's likely to be inflammatory. So the first thing we need to do is get that inflammatory process under control. It's the first part of the inflammatory process that leads us to having much more discomfort than we need to unless we address it early. So the way we do that is we back off from the aggravating activities. So if something hurts, you definitely don't do it. You also intensively ice. So what I mean by that is you do 15-minute applications of your ice pack, and you do that very regularly, every 2 or 3 hours for the first few days. If you can do that, then you'll get the injuries under control. There's also something else I want to share with you. Often we're told to go home and rest, or rest, meaning don't do anything. In actual fact, our body needs feedback all the time. And if we don't do things, what happens is we get stiffer, we get weaker. But funnily enough, the nervous system wants information, so it actually turns the volume up. So we actually get more uncomfortable. So what I like to share with people is that we do want you to keep mobile and active. And that's important for what we're doing over this adventure. I need you to keep active, but not do things that hurt you. So what we say to people is motion is your friend. Obviously, the key is by keeping things mobile, then you're not going to suffer those problems as much.
I did my exercises that the physio set me last night. I did the heel taps, 3 lots of 12, and I did the leg slides, 3 lots of 12. I learnt though that I have to do that on carpet, not on tiles. I did catch my sciatic nerve doing that and had to relocate once I could move. My calf is pretty tender today, so I have given a miss the leg raises, the calf raises for today. I did have a little bit of Chinese for dinner for my husband's birthday. I actually feel a little bit sick now. Might have been a bit too rich, considering being on these shakes for 1.5 weeks now. Just finished 2 nights of camping. I have to admit that last night I actually went to bed early because I don't think I was going to be able to say no to all of the awesome food that was laid out, the chips and the biscuits and cake that was sitting out for everyone to eat. So instead of giving in, I actually just removed myself from temptation and went to bed. So I'm actually pretty happy with that decision because at least I didn't eat it. So I would have regretted eating it more than going to bed an hour earlier than everyone else. So I did it, 2 days camping, did it, pretty excited by that. Did a massive walk with everybody yesterday, so I'm pretty stoked with that too. Managed to get some exercise in and it didn't even feel like exercise.
Well, Mel, you two have had a week now to go about doing the exercises you were given last week. How have they gone?
So far so good. I haven't been able to do the calf raises though. A little bit sore in the calf, but the other ones I have been able to do.
All right, how many times a day have you been able to fit them in?
I've been able to do 3 times, so 3 lots of the 12,
okay.
Generally before bed.
Okay, Mel, we want to see how you're moving now. Can I get you to do a gentle quarter squat, just down and then back up for us? Right, any issues with that when you do that at all?
No.
No pain anywhere at all?
No.
I noticed that if you're looking down, what we see is your feet are actually rolling in on the inside. And then what that does is that gives a turning motion to the thighs. And of course what that does is also then change the biomechanics of how you're moving. It also stretches the underside of the feet. Would you have any problems with your feet at all?
Yes, I do. I've got plantar fasciitis in both feet, worse in my left.
So in actual fact, what we have to do to make sure that your calf isn't being loaded is do some exercises or some movements for your feet and support that area as well. That will make a world of difference to your plantar fasciitis as well. So we can definitely help you with that. Okay, I'll give you a simple little technique that I want you to do. I want you to imagine I've got a drawing pin here. And if we put a drawing pin under your arch, you just lift the arch away, keeping this part of your foot on the floor. Perfect. Holding it there, and do the same here. And you'll feel what that does is roll your thighs out a little bit, okay? And if you hold that for 30 seconds or so, in a very regular way, then that's going to help decrease some of the load. What that does is take the stretch off of this arch, which is what's been giving you this ongoing problem.
Morning from sunny Perth, guys. How you going? It's been a big day so far. I'm over in Perth for a couple of days. I've got some meetings this afternoon. I'm just heading to the hotel room now to get changed. It's only 9:20 in the morning here, so I feel like I've done a full day. So I've got my shakes packed, I've got everything ready to go. I stopped and got some bottles of water because I think my lunchtime shake will be almost out of the boot of the car by the time I get going. I've learnt a couple of things over my travels in the last couple of days. One is never open a sachet of shake over your computer because it's quite dusty and it makes a mess. Secondly, get organised, make sure you got your water and your snacks. Make sure you get a hotel room with a gym in it, because I've certainly made use of that. It's been a good couple of days over here. I've stuck to the plan, so I'm really pleased about that because there's just temptation everywhere. Feeling really, really good though. Normally after a trip to Perth I'm sort of struggling for energy the following day, but I feel great today, so things are good. Back from the river, so a little dishevelled and unshaven, but the weekend went according to plan, which I was really pleased about. A bit like Melinda, I sat down at a table this morning with 12 people. They were all eating bacon and eggs, and I was very proud of the fact that I resisted. I ended up just having 2 eggs, and that was enough. So that was my main meal for the day. And cleanse day Monday, which am I looking forward to? I'm not sure, but it's got to be done, so we just focus and get the job done. The legs are feeling okay, but I have got a slight pain in the ball of my foot, not my arch, but the ball of my left foot. It's almost like there's like a little bump there, like a splinter or something.
Right.
So
has that just recently come on?
So since I've increased my load, it's really, before that I hadn't even noticed it. And the plantar fasciitis was the worst thing I've ever had in my life. Yes,
it's very debilitating when it's acute, that's for sure. And people do put up with it for way too long, because most of the time what we do is we try to soldier on, or we hop on the internet and try to get treatment ideas, which unfortunately are very often incorrect.
Well, I did diagnose myself. I went to the GP. I knew exactly what was wrong with me. I said, "Doc, I've got gout." He said, "No, you haven't." And I said, "Oh, yes, I have." So he shot me off to a physiotherapist, and it was recovery from there.
Okay.
Oh, nothing there.
So it appears very straightforward. Yep. This is the metatarsal joint, the long joint here, long bone here of your foot joins the toe bones, and that's the ball of your foot. These joints have been irritated. So that's an inflammatory response you've got, and I'm sure it's related to the fact that you stopped wearing your orthotics for a little while, as well as the fact that you've increased your activity.
One of the positives I found with this adventure is that it's such a easy and positive way of losing weight. G'day guys, I'm here at my friend's place. They've just taken me out for a lovely dinner at Henley Square. Pretty much sure I stay within my food boundaries. The shakes have been morning, breakfast and lunch today. I've done my exercises and I've taken my supplements. So another day knocked on the head, and roll on Sunday for the next day. Yesterday was my cleanse day. Did everything as far as I know right, so hopefully everything shows on the scales tonight. Well, I've had to concentrate on keeping my hips flat on the floor because this one keeps on lifting.
Right.
My problem was getting up and down off the ground because I've got a bit of a dicky knee.
I see, a dicky knee. That's a good diagnosis, and that's good because that's what we hear about, is to find out what's actually going on. Is the knee the only problem for you, or do you have other issues as well?
My back gets a little bit tired and sore.
Which part of your back are we talking about?
I'm talking about lower back.
The lower back?
A netball injury, and then through the middle here.
Okay. Have you started doing more exercise?
I haven't been able to with this knee, not
Because
more,
of the knee.
yeah, which is really frustrating because you see the other members putting up that they've gone for a run, they've gone for a swim, I have got into a friend's pool and done a lot of walking in the pool.
Right.
So, but it's just not as much as I wanted to.
Okay, so what we have to do for everyone is make sure that we pick the right things to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough just to say go running, because running isn't suitable for everyone.
No.
So what we have to do is find ways to do that, and we'll do that for you now. So let's have a little look at those movements and see how you go. And, yep, and just as you're standing there now, just arch backwards towards me. What do you feel as you do that?
Tightness down the lower back.
Okay, and back up. And just tilting over to the right-hand side. Anything when you do that at all?
Oh, my hip is tight.
And the other way.
No, it's not so bad.
Okay, so in terms of discomfort, it's across here, you said that you feel it?
Sorry, bottom bit here.
And I haven't done so for quite a long time because I have a bit of a phobia of groups of people and big crowds and stuff. But since losing 4 kilos in week 1 and just feeling really good about myself and feeling positive, motivated, energetic, I thought, okay, I'm going to really push myself and go swimming today. And plucked up the courage, drove down there, went in the pool, did 40 laps, and just felt amazing for doing it. I sort of got to be honest about something that I've done today. I feel that as part of this team, I need to be honest, and I feel that everyone else in the team as well should be honest if they have a little bit of a slip up or a mistake. And it was my turn today. After 11 days, I've not eaten anything I shouldn't, but today I have. I actually had a little bit of chili and lemon popcorn, and I've been steering away from anything like that. So it's made me feel pretty disgusting. I don't feel too good right now for doing that, so I've been obsessing about it for maybe the last 3 or 4 hours since I ate it, and so I've realised it's not worth it. But again, I just felt that I need to be honest today because I initially wasn't going to say anything, but what's the point of doing this if I'm not going to be 100% honest with everyone involved? So that was my little slip up today. There we go. I'm not going to do it again.
I actually realised that going through the supermarket, and there's like a lot of temptation, you go past ice cream and chocolate and potato chips and all that sort of stuff, and I walked past it and I'm not actually craving that sort of stuff. Whereas in like the first couple of days that we were doing this, like I'd walk past ice cream and I'd start to be sort of like having withdrawal symptoms, going like, what am I doing? But now, again, nearly at the end of the 2 weeks, I'm actually fine with it. So for myself, someone like me who is like the biggest ice cream fan out, I can walk past it and not actually be tempted now. So I'm really at a good place in my head, I think.
So, Aaron, you've had a week to work at the exercises you were given last week.
Yep.
How have you gone with those?
Really good. They've not been hard. I've managed to do them about 3 or 4 times a day.
That's fantastic. Are they getting easier to do?
One of them maybe not, because I keep losing my balance, but the other one is fine. So,
Right. So when you put on your weight, did you feel you lost range of movement? You stiffened up in any way?
yeah, I started having a few problems with my back again, and just a little bit of pain and discomfort, and my back would seem to freeze a little bit, and just getting some jolting pains. But now that I'm becoming more mobile again, there's not as much pain there. So
Okay. So let's have a little look then, Aaron. Just get you to arch backwards towards me if you can,
Yep.
just as far as you're comfortable to come. What do you feel as you do that?
bit of pressure,
Where do you feel that?
sort of my lower spine.
And back up for us. Can you map out where you feel that exactly?
Sort of there.
All right.
Scars.
If we get you to reach your right hand down the side of your thigh as far as you can. Good. And the other direction. And how do they compare for you?
It feels the same.
Good.
Yeah.
And how do you go reaching down towards your toes nowadays?
Oh geez, I forgot that thing.
As far as you can comfortably go. Good.
That's probably as far
And
as
while you're there, just tuck your chin on your chest for us. Does that bring on any discomfort at all?
no.
And back up for us. Very good. And lastly, just keeping your shoulders level, can you glide your hips out to the right-hand side for me? It's just sideways as far as it's comfortable to go, and then the other direction as well. Very good.
Good morning, guys. Just off for a walkabout at a job site that I'm going to this morning. So yeah, this week, on target now. So yeah, all is well. Going to smash it out this week.
So there's a couple of things that I would like to talk with you about tonight, and I think the first thing that we're going to talk about is the elephant in the room. So, or should I say, not in the room. Week 1, we started out, we were a team. There were 5 of you and 1 of me, so 6 in total, because as you know, I'm doing what you're doing as well. And here tonight, there's just the 4 of us. Those of you at home, you will remember that when we first started out, week 1 and the beginning of week 2, our 5th participant, Timothy, great guy, has been involved with us. This week's been a little bit challenging for him. And for those of you who've been watching us over the last couple of weeks, you do know that we've had our video diaries and that, you know, all of the participants have been doing their tasks every day. And unfortunately, Timothy's had a few issues and challenges with that. Statistics have shown that approximately 1 in 5 people, every time they go to make a commitment, to make a change in their lives, whatever that be, on a personal, physical, mental or social level, drop out very quickly. And the reason that they do, the research has shown, the reason that they do is that self-esteem comes up straight up for them, but also their mind takes over before their heart and their commitment gets a chance to even take the first step. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So what we've seen here, unfortunately with Timothy, is that this could potentially be what's gone on. You know, when I've spoken with him in the last couple of weeks, I've seen everything that each and every one of you have said as well, and we've tried to support and encourage him. So now I'd like you to sort of embrace the Timothy within you, because this is the end of week 2 and we still have 6 weeks to go. There are going to be times when you're going to get disappointed. There are going to continue to be times where you're going to be really hard on yourselves. There are going to be times when maybe you're doing a cleanse day and you go, Jaynie, why am I doing this? Because of the reasons that we all know, okay? I'd like you to internalize perhaps a Timothy within yourselves, and remember that the one thing that each of you have said that you wish that he had have done, especially in the last week, that you do yourselves. So I want you, if you're in that space, I want you to reach out to somebody. I want you first of all to remember that you've got each other and me. Okay, so we've all got each other through this. So if you have an issue, or if you've got self-doubt, or if you just are finding it tough, reach out to all of us first. But moving forward after this 8 weeks, you're still going to have issues. We all do. Guess what? It's life. Okay? So when that happens, reach out and remember to reach out to your inner circle, to your support group. And if you actually haven't defined your support system yet, or your support circle, I'd like you to start doing that in the coming days, so that you're starting to set yourself up for life. Because when we're done in 8 weeks, I don't want you to go back to where you don't want to go. I want you to be set up for the future. This global thing that goes on, and I'm guilty of it, of constantly saying, you know, we can help you be the best version of you, you know, we can get you better, we can do this. But you know what, at the end of the day, you're always going to have all of the years that you've lived so far, all of the characteristics that you've molded into who you actually are always going to be with you. So moving forward, it's simply just going to be developing that and remembering that you're not here to change who you are, because who you are, especially you four, are amazing already. There's just a couple of things that you personally want to change, and that's why we're here. Yeah? Excellent.
End of week 2.
Yes.
It's been interesting.
It has been.
It's sort of a bit of a whoa.
Yes, I look, it's been good and it's been challenging. There's no two ways about that. And I think one of the things that's come up for each and every one of our participants is that this is actually encompassing a lot more than just the ItsToLiveFor weight loss challenge. And having one of our participants decide that it's not for him, and that he has officially pulled out. What I'm excited about is that it hasn't changed the dynamic with the team. It's actually improved and uplifted and built on it as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a saying that when you're looking at group dynamics, there's the forming, and then the storming, then the norming, and then the performing. And
that's good.
So we've had the storming, but they've kind of instantly normed into a cohesive group.
And it's been interesting to watch throughout the week. Each of the participants, the remaining 4, they have observed that there's a change, that things were changing. And it's been quite heartwarming to watch them on their video diaries in particular, and on their support page, of actually reaching out constantly to the 5th participant and being there as a team for him, and working together, and that's been great, and that's part of what we're working towards on a bigger level.
Yeah. And I mean, we can't isolate weight as one issue and lose the weight, your life's going to be perfect. Because there are so many issues. And this is the thing. You start to lose weight and other things come up.
Well, exactly. And on the flip side, when we put on weight, it's not just because we're sitting there eating lots of food.
No.
Most people put on a lot of weight and get to a point of where they don't want to be because of outside issues, be it family, be it work, be it, you know, mental, emotional, lots of different factors in everyday life.
Of course, yeah.
So it's the unravelling and turning that around.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah. And that's where we're at right now, isn't it? Which is very, very exciting. Wow, what a show. I told you it was an interesting week. I didn't expect that. I'm sure you didn't. Hop on our Facebook page and let us know what you think. Like your particular participant. Who's your favourite? Tell us why they're your favourite. If you'd like to join them on this adventure, contact us. Send us a message and we'd love to come back to you and show you how you can get these sorts of results. We'll see you next week.